Chapter 24 of 24. Time went on until the last of December, and the year was drawing to a close. We had noticed that a number of persons were congregating for the one ceremonial event that the masters participate in practically alone. Each day we were introduced to strangers. All spoke English, and we began to feel that we were part of the village life. One day we were told that the event would take place on New Year's Eve, and we were invited to be present. We were also told that, while this event was not for outsiders, it was in no way a secret meeting, that none of their meetings were private. The assembly was for those who had commenced the work, had taken it up in earnest, and had gone far enough to realize that they wanted to live the life. Those who had accepted the higher consciousness and realized what this meant in their lives. It was called by some the Feast of the Passover. These gatherings were usually held at some stated location at this time of year, and this place had been chosen for the occasion this year. The morning of the day appointed for the assembly dawned bright and clear, with the mercury well below zero. It found us all eager, for we felt that this evening would add to the many interesting experiences of the trip. We arrived at the appointed place at 8 o'clock that evening and found about 200 assembled. The room was lighted in the same way as the one mentioned before, and was very beautiful. We were told that the beautiful young lady who once before had been our hostess would have charge of the services. A few moments after we were seated, she entered the room, and we all marveled at her youth and beauty. She wore a beautiful white gown, but there was no attempt at display. She stepped quietly to the small platform and began her address. We are gathered here this evening with the desire to enter into the fuller meaning of passing from a lower to a higher consciousness, and we welcome those of you who are prepared for this. At first, you followed us, led by your interest in the things you have seen us accomplish, which you at first looked upon with awe and wonder, thinking of them as marvelous. We know you have at this time learned to look upon these things as the everyday occurrences of a life as it should be lived, a natural everyday life that God would have us live at all times. By this time, you are satisfied that we have not performed any marvels. You realize the true spiritual meaning of what you are doing. The consciousness that functions from the true spiritual plane always interprets all forms in terms of the ideal underlying them. Then the great inner meaning is revealed, and there is no mystery. Consequently, no marvel, no miracle. This passing over from a lower to a higher consciousness means putting away the material, where all is discord and inharmony, and taking up and accepting the Christ consciousness, in which all is beauty, harmony, and perfection. This is the natural way of living, the way God sees us living, and the way so beautifully exemplified by Jesus here on earth. The other is the unnatural, the self way, the hard way. When we realize it, it is so easy, so natural to live the Christ way, Then we come into the Christ consciousness.